A free campsite versus an expensive fancy dancy campsite. And the pros and the cons to both of these actually might surprise you. Which one's better? I recently camped at a free campsite, and my friends Patrick and Patty from Travels with Delaney recently camped at a premium campsite. And in this video, we're gonna share the differences between our two different experiences. After you see the differences between these campsites, I wanna know, which campsite would you have preferred camping at? Type in either free or premium in the video description below. The 100% free campsite that I nabbed was located down a gravel road in a remote rural area in Wisconsin. To put it in perspective, the closest grocery store was over 20 minutes away. But the scenery and the drive to get there was beautiful. This free campground only has first come, first served campsites. Some of the best campsites I've ever camped at have been on a first come, first served basis. But I never know if there's going to be a campsite available or if there will be a desirable site available until I pull into the campground. How much per night did you pay for your campsite, Patrick? And did you have to travel down any gravel roads to get there?
Well, Randy, our campsite was a little bit more than yours. Well, it was a lot more than yours. Around $120 a night with all the taxes and fees. Now, as far as dirt road, I don't know if you've ever traveled I-95 in South Carolina, but it is as bumpy as any dirt road in America. But no, we didn't have to use any dirt roads. See, we just took the William Hilton Parkway in and then took the Bluffton Parkway to get to the Hilton National RV and Golf Resort. That's where we stayed. Now, it's located just a couple minutes from downtown historic Bluffton, South Carolina, where we found some amazing quaint shops and restaurants and went out exploring. And more importantly, we were only a couple miles to take the bridge over to Hilton Head Island, the home of some amazing white soft sand beaches.
My husband Tom and I have camped at this campground before. So when we pulled in and saw our second favorite campsite was available, we grabbed it and we began to set up camp. Oh my gosh, look at all the bugs on my camper. Our campsite was on a nice grassy area, but it wasn't very level. Shoot, we're still not level. Our campsite had a fire pit and someone left us some firewood. This is a really nice, spacious campsite. There's only one other campsite in this section of the campground, and that campsite is right over there. So our closest neighbor is quite a distance away. But my favorite thing about this campsite is the view. And these steps right off my campsite take me right down to the water. Nature's beauty never ceases to amaze me, and it's so peaceful here. And the next morning when I woke up, I saw that the people that were camping at our favorite campsite had left. So we packed up and we moved over to that campsite. And this is the view from our new campsite. Listen to the sounds. And of course, when you're camping in a remote location, I didn't have any internet access here. I just can't wait to see what your premium campsite looks like, Patrick.
Now, when we arrived at our campground, we didn't have to go searching for a site. We already knew we had one. In fact, we even knew which one we had because we had booked our site months in advance. When we arrived, we just had to call and let them know we were there because it is a gated campground, and someone came and took us to our site. It was really nice. Concrete, long, wide, plenty of room for the RV. It was also super level, and it was surrounded by really nice landscaping. Pine needles, green shrubs, big trees. Honestly, it was really nice, and it had a fire pit and a picnic table for us.
There weren't any hookups at my campsite, so there were a couple of things that we needed to do. First, we filled our fresh water tank before we got to the campground. And to keep things charged, like my phone and my iPad, I brought my Jackery with. I use it to keep all my electronics charged up when I don't have electric hookups. Let me guess, Patrick, you had full hookups at your campsite.
Well, of course it had hookups, Randy. In fact, we had all the hookups we needed. We had water, we had sewer, we had electricity, including our choice of 50, 30, or 20 amp service. There was also a place to plug in for cable TV right at our site. We had everything we needed right there. It was kind of like our little home away from home for the week.
Stay tuned, because coming up are the biggest differences between these two campgrounds, and that's the amenities. And I think this is going to be pretty interesting. Just down the road from my campsite were several other campsites, and some of these also had really nice water views. There were also a couple of pit toilets throughout the campground. All of the campsites here were pretty well spread out. Right off the main part of the campground was a little trail that led right down to the water.
This is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Isn't this gorgeous, Thor? We really enjoyed spending time down here by the water. The campground also had a pavilion and a fresh water pump. The sign here says that this campground is sponsored by the Westboro Fish and Wildlife Club. Thank you so much. I appreciate your free campground. Okay, Patrick, tell us about your campground and tell us about all the amenities you had.
This is where our site really shined, Randy. We had so many amenities. They do call it the Hilton Head National Golf and RV Resort, so we had a golf course right next door if we wanted to go hit the links. But right on site, we had so many great amenities, including a large, sparkling, clean pool with a lazy river. There was also things like tennis courts and cornhole and horseshoe pits. There was a restaurant and a lounge right on site. In fact, one night we ordered pizza. I walked up and took the pizza back to our RV. There was also a dog park for both big dogs and small dogs, and a place to get Truman and Bess a bath. There was a wonderful laundry room and their shower houses. Well, let's just say those bathrooms are nicer than what we have at our home. They literally had all the amenities we need and even more. You could rent things like golf carts, you could rent bicycles. The truth is, there was so much to do there, we really never even wanted to leave the resort.
We all have a vision in our head of our ideal camping spot, but I want to know which one of these campsites was closer to your vision. The free campsite or the premium campsite? Type in free or type in premium below. Now that's a wrap.